It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 39. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Monday, July 3rd, 2023. Yes, you heard that right. It is a Monday episode. Thank you for tuning in on this wonderful Monday. I didn't record yesterday. I was busy. I was doing some traveling around. So I decided, since I have the day off today, I took a vacation day, I would record the podcast this morning. So I appreciate your flexibility out there in the universe. I have tomorrow off for the 4th of July, so I was trying to get a long weekend here. So that was the plan for the Dep Lewis Show this weekend. I've had my show notes ready since Saturday, and I just haven't had time to record this thing. So thank you for showing up on a Monday. Hopefully this is going to kick your week off properly. Actually, hopefully you're not working today. But if you are working, hopefully you can listen to this podcast and, get some good video game news in your brain to help you get through the day. So welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 39 on a Monday. Should be back to your regularly scheduled programming next week with a Sunday episode. So I just appreciate you doing a little bit of a switch up with me this week. And it's nice to be able to do so. But it's also nice to be able to record this Dep Lewis Show, so I'm glad to be here. So the first order of business is to tell you some things to do. Follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review. Turn on notifications and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. The Buzzsprout page is the perfect hub for you to find the best place to listen to the Dep Lewis Show weekly, and also to share with others so they can find the best place to listen as well. If you'd like to support the show at the highest level, you can go to patreon.com/DepLewisShow and subscribe to the ground floor tier. There's 100 slots available for the deal of the century. You can support the Dep Lewis Show on Patreon for $1 a month. On the ground floor tier, it's just a general support tier mainly, but you also get ad-free versions of the series Dep Lewis Shows Off, where I record a video showing off a game that I'm playing, and I talk over it and talk about it a little bit and kind of introduce you to the game. So please go support on Patreon if you'd like to, patreon.com/DepLewisShow. I have clips of the show on YouTube and TikTok, so you can see some gameplay footage along with audio from the podcast. I took a break from those last week, but there's going to be some clips that are back this week. I took some footage while I was playing games this week, and I'm going to bring them to your eyeballs. That's the plan. So let's talk about the show for today. The show always has 3 sections. The What I've Been Playing section is the first one. So we're going to talk about the video games I've been playing. I have a few entries in that section this week, so that's pretty cool. And I want to talk about some things I purchased. And then in the mid section, we're going to smoke on a lot of mid. The mid section is where we talk about what I've been seeing across the video game landscape, across the video game universe, what kind of stuff is going down out there in the world of video games. So let's see. There was a showcase. There's a sale going on. There's a court battle going on. And then we're going to get into my mid-year rankings. Oh, baby. We're going to get into some mid-year rankings of video games for the Dep Lewis Show for 2023. I'm going to tell you where I stand currently with my rankings. I'm going to tell you what games I played. I'm going to tell you what games I missed. And it's going to be a very, very great midway recap of all the games of this year that have interested me on the Dep Lewis Show, that I've talked about, that I've played, that I've wanted to play. And I actually have some rankings for you. So we're going to get into that in the mid-section as well. And the final section of the show today is the Miscellaneous Talk section, where we can talk about whatever we like. And in this week's installment, we are going to talk about some comedy. We're going to talk about some sports. That's what we usually like to do. And those will be the main 2 things we talk about in the final section. So thank you for being here for the Dep Lewis Show, episode 39. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's start off with one more announcement. I want to talk about my new stream schedule on twitch.tv/DepLewisShow. I'm going to try to stream, is the plan, every Thursday from around 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern is the plan. I did this last week, and I played some Sonic Origins Plus, and it was very fun. I am able to stream with, you can stream directly from your console, but I've been streaming with OBS. It allows me to use my microphone to talk to anybody who wants to chat. So just know that if you want to watch some video games, I thought this would be a good idea to do for some more engagement with the Dep Lewis Show audience, and also some more opportunity for you to see some video games, to actually see what I'm talking about, see these games that I'm playing and talking about every week. so you can get a little insight that week of what I'm playing and what I'm feeling about it. So I think that's cool. And I was thinking either Wednesday or Thursday for the stream, but I'm deciding on Thursday for right now. But sometimes maybe I'll switch it around. Maybe it'll be a little bit variable from Wednesday to Thursday, but I'm thinking Thursday for the most part, around 8 to 10 at night is the plan for the time frame. So you can check the schedule out on twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show, and please come join me every Thursday. You can get a little sneak peek for what I'm going to talk about in the podcast. So I thought that'd be a great idea, and I had fun doing it last week, and I'll be looking forward to doing it this week. So I'll come through. There's no telling what we'll be playing. So new stream schedule, twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Come through and watch some games on Twitch with me. So that is going to set the stage for the show today. So let's get right into it in the first section of what I've been playing. And what I've been playing has been a game I've been talking about every week since it's been released on May 12th, 2023, and that is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So what have I been doing in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? I've been finding shrines. No, I've been completing shrines and using a guide to complete them. So I've been going back across the map and really focusing on getting some shrines done. So I think I said I was at 43. I think I might be at 45 shrines at this point. I'm around 45 or 50 hours in the game, and I'm trying to knock out some of these shrines. So I found a way, if you pull up your map, you can look at all the shrines that you've unlocked, and maybe you haven't completed them all. And if you haven't completed them all, excuse me. Oh man, I coughed right into the thing. All right, cough button didn't work. I didn't hit the right button, but I've been trying to complete the shrines that I have not completed. So if you look on the map, you can see if you look at the shrine icon, you can see like a little gold inlay or gold middle, and that means you haven't actually completed the shrine yet. So this has allowed me to, do some proper backtracking and get back to completing some of these. So it's been bumping my numbers up a little bit, and I've also been using a guide to get through some of these shrines. I feel like that's been helping me. It's always kind of helped me in these Zelda games, and I don't want to slow down on my progress because I've been really enjoying this. So I'm taking this little bit of a handicap to get through some of these shrines because I really do think I love the open world, adventure-y, explorer-y, talking to people things more than the shrines. But I do like the shrines. I'm just not so good at them. Last week I was talking a little bit hate on the shrines. I think that hate's a little bit misplaced. It might be a little more personal. It's just I don't think it's my strong suit. So I'm using this guide as a handhold, and it's been helping me through this game and making some progress. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's been taking out some good frustration. So I think that's going to be the plan for the foreseeable future. So I've still been trying to get my money up. I bought my second pair of fire-resistant armor so I could go to different places. I'd love to buy the third piece, but I just don't have quite enough rupees yet. But I've been cooking a lot and trying to get my money back up. I think I'm back up to 1,000 rupees again, so I'm kind of close to being able to buy something. But that's been kind of a main focus for me early in this game, is buying some of the outfits and armor and stuff like that. It's been very cool. I'm trying to get some pose now so I can get the dark armor from that guy in the lookout tower. But I need a lot more pose than I have right now. I think I have 51. So let's see. I said I've been finding shrines using a guide. I've been still cooking to make the rupees. I'm up to around 43, 45 shrines, about 45 to 50 hours in. I said I'm making a point to do more shrines. I'm going back to the ones I've unlocked. Sometimes I just want to have a fast travel spot. Yeah, sometimes I'm not looking to complete a shrine, but I get to an area and I just want to be able to have a fast travel spot there. So I'll just go into the shrine and maybe dip right back out. Or, you can just kind of engage with the shrine and it puts it on your map. And then you can go back and look at your map of which ones you haven't completed. So that's been very nice to see. All right. I've been using the shrine. I've been feeling less frustrated. And I'm usually able just to read through what it's saying a little bit and get the mechanic it's wanting you to get at. And I can complete the shrine myself. I've been finding that's the case for most of these. And, I'm starting to fuse more weapons, items to my weapons. That's been helping me a lot too. It's been, getting my combat stats up, and that's been very helpful. So I've been being more mindful of doing that all the time. I'm not attaching just rocks, but attacking like those horns and things like that, things that are a little more deadly to the ends of my weapon, so I can be doing some more damage out here. What else did I been doing? I dyed my chic armor yellow, and my Hylian armor was already yellow, but I've been rocking my chic armor around, and I didn't know you could dye that. CC in Hatano Village was kind of telling me I looked lame because my armor wasn't dyed and it wasn't stylish enough, so I I dyed it and went back and talked to her, and she gave me a little bit of half props. So I was happy to get that recognition from Cece. I finished handing out all those mushrooms to her followers. That was a pretty fun storyline in Hateno Village. And there's still one more piece to that election that I'd like to see happen in Hateno Village, but I got to figure out how that happens. And then what else? Oh yeah, the last thing I found out this week was you can now put flower bombs on the end of your arrows in hot areas because they just immediately explode. So I was down in one of these areas in the Goron section, and I was trying to break up all these rocks, and I decided to shoot a flower bomb at it as you would normally do, and immediately upon attaching the flower bomb, it just exploded and took down all my health and killed me. So, and I did this multiple times. I was slow on the uptake, or slow on the whatever that word is, to figure out what was going on. I was like, man, I must just be doing something wrong here. But no, it's just the environment, and another great example of why The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is an exceptional game. So it's been very fun. I don't really see myself slowing down with this game too much. I think I've gone back. I've backtracked to all the shrines that I've unlocked on my map. I think I have. I say that, but I think I have 2 left, but I've had a lot. So I think I'm down to 2 that I can backtrack to. And then I need to go back into my exploring, adventuring mode and find some shrines again. I don't know if I'm going to immediately just start shrine hunting, but I definitely want to get some of those on my map and available for me to travel to. I think I like that method. So I think that's what I'm going to continue doing. But The Legend of Zelda has been a great game, Tears of the Kingdom, and I highly recommend it. So that's my update on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for this week. Alright, so let's go down the list. I've been playing a couple more games this week, so it's been an exciting week of video gaming. And a couple of these are going to be pretty high up on the Dep Lewis Show mid-year check-in for best games of 2023, so that's exciting too. So the next game that I've been playing is something I bought. It came out June 2nd, I believe. So it kind of came out in the midst of all my Zelda playing, but that is Street Fighter 6, and I love this game. I've been playing through the story. Okay, I bought this on Xbox now, since I have Xbox Live for so long. I originally bought this on PlayStation, and just because I was trying to lean towards going to PlayStation, but I have Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass through, April of next year already paid for, and then I have a whole nother year on top of that I can add to it. So I decided instead of paying for PS Plus, I would just buy the game, spend that money and buy the game on Xbox, and then not have to worry about it. So I have a little more room with my online capabilities on Xbox, and so that's what I decided to do. So I had to backtrack a little bit, but I'm playing this on Xbox now. I gotta say, I like using the Xbox controller with it. The D-pad feels really, really great for playing Street Fighter 6. I played Street Fighter 4 on Xbox, so I probably should have been thinking about that because I love Street Fighter 4. And I really haven't even been using my fight stick yet. So I've been doing the Xbox controller. I plan to get into some fight sticking, but I've just been, playing on and off, trying to get through the story here and kind of figure out what characters I'm liking. So I've still been doing that whole tactic. Playing on the Xbox now, I have restarted, my scores. So Chun-Li right now is in the lead for my best character, and Ken is second. So Ken was first on my PlayStation copy, and I don't know where Chun-Li was, but I had a good run with Chun-Li, and I've been playing the story on normal. That wasn't by design. I just didn't realize that was a setting. On PlayStation, I was playing on the easiest difficulty just to run through the story. So I think playing on normal has been boosting my scores up, and it's also been just a little bit better for me. The fights aren't impossible. I've been losing sometimes, but I've mostly been winning these, so it's been a good balance. I'm glad I'm playing on normal now. I think it's given me a better challenge to learn the game, but it's also still allowing me to kind of breeze through it like I'm trying to do. I'm trying to dial in what characters I like in this game, and right now it's telling me Chun-Li is my lady, so we'll see. But Street Fighter 6 has been very fun. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I love the way it fights. I love all the sounds. And I think it is an amazing game. It has me, wanting to play a lot more of it. And I think this will be a game I play for a long while. So, Street Fighter 6, I just want to say you're a really great game, and I'm going to play you some more. And I'm sorry you came out around the time Zelda was out, but I think you're an amazing game, and I bought you twice now. And I hope that proves that my loyalty to Street Fighter 6. So you're going to see some more Street Fighter 6 content on this channel for a good while. And, maybe you'll even catch a stream of me playing some Street Fighter 6 on twitch.tv/DepLewisShow. All right, so another game that I purchased this week, and this game actually released on 6/23/2023. I believe that was the Blue Blur's birthday. The Blue Blur's birthday, and so this game is Sonic Origins Plus. So the game Sonic Origins came out last year around the same time, but now this is the Sonic Origins Plus version. So they've added some more things into this game and added more games into this game. So this is a 16 game collection. You can play Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic CD. And you can also play 12 classic Sonic Game Gear titles, including hits like Sonic Drift 2, Sonic and Tails Adventure. So I've been starting off with, I've kind of dabbled in a lot of these games, just trying them out, see what they look like. But the main two things I'm focusing on are playing Sonic 1, and I've started Sonic 2 a little bit. So I'm taking this as, if I get really stuck or hung up in Sonic 1, I'll just switch to Sonic 2 and start making some progress, and then kind of go back to that level in Sonic 1. But I've been having a lot of fun in Sonic 1, and I'm playing as Amy Rose, the new addition to this game. You can play her in Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic CD now, so that's a whole new character in all those games. And they also said Knuckles is available in CD now, so I don't think Knuckles was available there before. So you have a lot of character choices, which is really cool. In Sonic 2, you can pick the combo of Amy Rose and Tails if you want to, so I think that's pretty neat. I think that's actually what I did. And Sonic 1, I'm just playing as Amy Rose herself, and I think she's a really cool character. She's really cute. I like her pink color, and she's fast and fun. And this game has been really, really fun. I really do like side-scrolling platformers. I've played Sonic throughout the years, but never like completed a Sonic game or played it, a ton of it. I've just kind of played them in passing more so than anything. So this has been a fun collection to have. Has a lot of fun stuff in the collection, like museum stuff, and it's just a really good package. It's $39.99 on the Xbox Series X is where I bought it. It's also available on the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, Switch, and the PC. And what else do I want to say about this game? If you just have the base game Sonic Origins for $29.99, you can pay $9.99 to upgrade to Plus. So if you've already bought this game last year and just want to get the upgrade stuff, lucky you. You can just drop $10 and get the new content in this game. And yeah, so there's the Game Gear games are in there, which is cool. I had a Game Gear back in the day. I'm really surprised there's 12 of those in there. They talk about some of those being like really big hits that I haven't played. Like I was saying, Sonic Drift 2, Sonic and Tails Adventure. I think Sonic 3 is one of the ones I played the most in my day. I think that was the one I was mainly playing on Game Gear, the one with Knuckles on the cover. So I think that's probably my most played Sonic game ever. So we'll be seeing which Sonic game I like out of here. This has been really fun to play. I'm happy to own it on Xbox, and it was fun to stream this on last Thursday. So I don't know how I'm going to pick which game I stream going into Thursday, but it's just going to be some mismatch of games I'm playing that week and things I've been talking about on the podcast. So you should get a pretty good feel for what you're going to see, unless there's a new release that I buy and want to jump into that during the stream, or if there's just some old game that I'm somehow into, that I'm trying to get into. You'll normally be seeing stuff that I talk about in this section on my stream, so that's a good little indicator to get some more insight on these games and actually see what they're looking like. So Dep Lewis Show is out here providing you with all the video game content you could need, besides actually just playing the games for you. So that is the point of the Dep Lewis Show. All right, so those have been the three main games I've been playing this week. I want to talk about two purchases that I made this week and talk about that a little bit. So I made two purchases. These are some games that you might see in the future being some content on the Dep Lewis Show. They are new games from 2023. I bought Diablo 4 and I bought Resident Evil 4 Remake. So two games I've been mulling around for a while to buy. I finally just bit the bullet. I used my gift card, put that money towards these games. I bought physical versions. So I'm trying to be a little bit smarter out here. I am switching and rededicating myself to the Xbox for now. I'm going to buy some physical copies of games, of games that I would complete and then not play again. So, Street Fighter, I bought a digital copy. But for Diablo 4 and Resident Evil 4, I just bought a physical copy in case I want to play them, trade them back in and get some money towards something else. And I thought that would be a great idea. So I'm back to having some physical games around here. And I've started off playing Diablo 4. I did play some of that last week, but not enough to really talk about. I just kind of wanted to see what it's about, and I'm really liking it. I started off with a Barbarian. I like the combat, the story, the graphics are really good. The world building's been really fun. It hasn't been all doom and gloom and demony. There's been some nice areas and some cool areas, and the art style's cool. And I've been having a lot of fun with that game. I've just been kind of busy since I bought it, but I think it's going to be the one I dive into first. But, you never know here with me on this Dep Lewis Show. I like to jump around. But, now I have these games that I can play whenever I want to, so that's very nice. I've also bought the Resident Evil 4 remake. I kind of went in trying to pick up Diablo, but then they had Resident Evil 4, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to get this, and I'll quit thinking about wanting to buy it. So I just got it downloaded to my console. I put the disc in and downloaded the updates, and I've been kind of thinking this would be a good one to do on my streams on Thursdays. So we will see. That's a little bit of the plan for this week, is to start up Resident Evil on Thursday, but I don't want to hold myself to that. I want to leave myself open to doing whatever. So the main part of this is I've kind of rededicated myself to Xbox. I actually bought a new Xbox controller so I could have 2 controllers now. They were selling a new, oh man, it's so cool looking. It's a purple, it's like an interstellar purple solar color. Like it has like kind of flary stuff on the sides. It's a purple controller. It's a special edition. You can get it on Amazon right now. It was on sale for $58, so I thought that was a good opportunity to jump in and get a new controller. And it looks awesome. So if anyone wants to come by and do some street fighting, they're able to now. I got 2 controllers and I got a fight stick, so I am fully prepared to be an Xbox fanboy over here. I'm going to kind of keep my mindset right now is use my PS4, PS5 for exclusives only. Use the Xbox for their exclusives and anything third party, and then use the Switch for their exclusives unless there's a game I really want to have in handheld. But I don't really play handheld too much these days anymore. So I think, I've been going through this thought of I would love to have the majority of my games on one platform. And I think the smartest choice is Xbox. I already have a pretty big catalog on Xbox of games. The Xbox has some good exclusives. And I have the disc version of it. I have a Series X, so I'm able to use discs on my Xbox. My PS5 is digital. So I think that's another good positive for me, leaning towards the Xbox so I can buy some physical games and, trade them in to get new games because I love getting new games. So that is a little bit of the mindset here on the Dep Lewis Show going forward. So I just wanted to make you aware of all these cool games I've been playing and that I've been purchasing and that you'll be seeing talked about and shown on the Dep Lewis Show on all the various channels very soon in the near future. So that's going to wrap up the first section of the show this week. So we talked about, what I've been playing. It's been The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's been Street Fighter 6, it's been Sonic Origins Plus, and then I have made the purchases. I've kind of rededicated myself to being an Xbox fan. I bought Diablo 4 and Resident Evil 4, physical copies for the Xbox, and I also got a new Xbox controller. So, catch me out here, just being a happy gamer with all this cool shit. So it's been very fun. So that's going to wrap up the first section of the show today. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back for the mid-section of the show where we talk about what I've been seeing across the video game landscape. We have a showcase that happened. We have a sale going on. We got a court case, and we're going to do the mid-year rankings for the Dep Lewis Show for 2023 video games. So you don't want to miss the midsection, so go take a quick break, do whatever you need to do, but then come back and listen to the midsection in just a few. Welcome back to the midsection of Dep Lewis Show, episode 39. Thank you for coming back to listen to the midsection and smoke on some mid. We're going to be passing around that mid this whole section, so let's talk about it. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is I don't know if Nintendo officially confirmed this, but there's speculation out there and some, some rumors that that your account info will transfer over to the next console. So this is something we were talking about on episode 38. So Nintendo clearly heard the pleas from the Dep Lewis Show. It finally got through to them that they need to do this. So this is something that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about on podcasts that the new Switch could come out next year possibly. And last week I was just really talking. I think it would be a huge fumble if Nintendo doesn't allow you to transfer over the games you bought, digitally to the next console, whatever that next version of the console is. My speculation is it's going to be, we've been been thinking we're getting the 4K Switch for a long time. I think this next console is going to be the 4K Switch. I think they're going to call it Switch 2. I think it's going to be basically the same kind of console, the basic same kind of concept, but it's going to have 4K capabilities. I really can't think of what else it's going to have. I hope you're going to be able to sign into your same account and transfer your games over. Maybe it'll up-res them a little bit if you're playing on the new version, or maybe we'll start getting versions of games that are like, whatever, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 4K or something. Whatever the version, whatever the hardware is going to allow, maybe we'll just start getting ports of the game like that, kind of like they do on PS5, where you can upgrade to the PS5 version. But that's kind of my pipe dream and my hope. And I think there's a good chance that that's going to be the way it goes, because I think that's the smartest tactic for, appeasing your consumers. And I think it's kind of more of a long play than, obviously you'd love everyone to buy every game every time on every system, but that's not going to be the case. And people are already a little bit angry with Nintendo about this over the years. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to, I don't think they've, crushed all the goodwill. I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to sell this and for people to be excited and really happy with them. So, I think this is a kind of a case of them not doing the right thing before, but finally coming through to do it, and people will be happy enough with that. So it's cool to hear that rumor. It's funny to hear that we were talking about it last week. There's no coincidence there, but I just think it was interesting that we're kind of getting those rumblings this week. But that I think it just kind of lends to the fact that a new Switch maybe is coming next year. But for my takes, I don't know if it's going to be something you immediately want to upgrade to. Is it going to have an OLED screen? I don't know. Is it going to do 4K? I don't know. Is it going to be something completely different? That would really shock me, but I don't know. But either way, I love hearing that rumbling, that news that you'll be able to transfer over your account to the next console and be able to access your games. I think that will be crucial. And I think Nintendo, if they keep adding on to, if they take this content that you're available to buy and move it to the next console, they really can get some, not like Nintendo people aren't loyal, but if you can have a back catalog of all these games that you can play and that you love and move them from system to system and kind of keep them, I think that's a huge plus. It's something that a lot of people on Xbox and PlayStation like, and I think it's something that Nintendo needs to catch up on, is really what I think about it. So, go Nintendo if that's really what you're planning to do. I salute you here on the Dep Lewis Show, episode 39. All right, let's get into some showcase news. There was a showcase last week. I didn't actually watch this showcase, but I did. I checked the recap on IGN, so please go to IGN to check out these written recaps, or you can go to YouTube and watch the showcase yourself. And this was the Annapurna Interactive Showcase. So this showcase returned for 2023 and was filled with a wide range of unique and wonderful looking games. There's a few highlights from it that I'd like to talk about, and one of the first ones is Stray. Stray is finally coming to Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One on August 10th, 2023. Cat lovers rejoice. Stray is a 2022 adventure game developed by Blue 12 Studio and published by Annapurna Interactive. The story follows a stray cat who falls into a walled city populated by robots, machines, and mutant bacteria, and sets out to return to the surface with the help of a drone companion, B12. The game is presented through a third-person perspective. The players traverse the game world by leaping across platforms and climbing up obstacles, and can interact with the environment to open new paths. So this has been something that I've wanted to play on PlayStation for a little while, just never have dropped the cash to play it. And I think when it comes to Xbox, that could be the perfect chance for me to play this game, since I'm trying to be on the Xbox side of things these days and, kind of build a nice catalog of games there. And I think this was cool. I think this is a great announcement. Stray, when it got announced, there was a lot of hype for it and people were excited. And then once it came out, I feel like it lived up to that hype pretty much. I feel like a lot of people liked it. It was a cool, unique experience. And it has a really cool cat as the main character. And you get to be that cat. So, I love some animals here on the Dep Lewis Show. So you could catch me playing Stray, possibly in August. So pretty cool news from the Annapurna Interactive Showcase. The last couple things I want to talk about from this show. Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth is a new game. Annapurna Interactive's first in-house game, so that's a pretty big deal. And this is the first Blade Runner game in 25 years. I don't have too much familiarity with the Blade Runner series, but that's very cool. The game will take place in 2033 in a dystopian Los Angeles after the blackout, and will fit in between the original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Its development is being led by Solar Ash and What Remains of Edith Finch's Chelsea Hash. So she's a very acclaimed developer right there. And a lot of people think What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the best games ever. And just very cool. I think it was a cool announcement. Revitalizing an old thing and bringing it to the future. And it being Annapurna Interactive's first in-house game, I hope it can be a success. Alright, so there's another game that I've never heard about called Cocoon. And they say about this, it's the much anticipated world jumping game from Geometric Interactive and the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside. So those are two classic games that are highly revered across the industry. And this will officially be released on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Game Pass, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on September 29, 2023. There was a gameplay trailer and a release date announcement for Cocoon. So there was a lot more in this show. Definitely go check out the archive on YouTube or IGN for the written wrap-up. I read through the IGN summary. These were the things that I thought were coolest from the show. I would possibly have a different thought if I actually watched the video and saw some of these other games, but there was a lot presented in the show. I would say they're a little bit more on the indie side of things. I think that's usually what Annapurna Interactive is doing. So kind of like different kind of unique indie smaller experiences. So you can kind of see some more quirky games out there, but very interesting, very cool. I think the show was around an hour long, which is surprising, but impressive. I love when people do these showcases, and I try to watch them as much as I can. But if not, you can always catch up on IGN.com with their recaps. They do a very good job at that. So the Annapurna Interactive Showcase seemed pretty cool. What else do I want to talk about? There is a Steam Summer Sale going on, so we're moving on. Steam Summer Sale. It started June 29th, and it goes through 7. So it started June 29th, and it goes through July 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific. I don't know what that time pertains to, but that's what it said in the title. Up to 20% off. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's just get back to this. No. The cool news from the Steam Summer Sale, obviously there's a lot of games on sale for Steam Summer Sale, but they have also discounted the highly popular Steam Deck. So you can get up to 20% off on the highest Steam Deck, 15% off on the mid version, and 10% off the base model, which is $359.10. So $359.10 right now, US dollars, would get you the base model Steam Deck. So that's a pretty good deal. The expected delivery is listed as 1 to 2 weeks. And what do they want to say about the Steam Deck? It never calls shotgun on a road trip and always leaves you on the best seat on the plane, train, or bus. Steam Deck just might be the best travel buddy ever, letting you bring all your favorite games wherever your summer adventure takes you. I wrote I want a Steam Deck one day, and the top 10 Steam Deck games played so far in 2023 when I checked, and this was in order, which is pretty cool. Hogwarts Legacy, that's a surprise. Vampire Survivors, Elden Ring, Resident Evil 4, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Dead Cells, Hades, Street Fighter 6, Brotato, which is a roguelike, but I've never heard of it, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So those are all amazing games that are available on the Steam Deck and that are being played by people on there in the top 10 fashion. And the Steam Deck seems really cool. I mentioned earlier I don't really play handheld games too much anymore on this, in my life, but I don't know, the whole concept of the Steam Deck seems really cool. I would love to have one day. If I was definitely, if I won the lottery, I'd buy one right now. But just a really cool console. I think it's nice that they have it on sale. And I just wanted to highlight that in case you were wanting to drop the cash and you're prepared to do it. So Steam is having their summer sale, and the Steam Decks are on sale as well. All right, what else do we got to talk about in this section? Let's talk about this Microsoft versus FTC court battle. So this court battle is reaching its conclusion. It's been a week-long court battle between Microsoft and the United States Federal Trade Commission. It's come to a close, and the FTC delivered its closing arguments on Thursday. This legal battle between Microsoft and the FTC began last December, when the agency announced its plan to block Microsoft's enormous $68.7 billion purchase. This week's trial will see the FTC attempt to impose a preliminary injunction on Microsoft and Activision's Blizzard. If successful, it would mean Microsoft and Activision Blizzard can't complete the acquisition, while the FTC's review of the transaction's compliance with U.S. antitrust laws is ongoing. So I wrote down my take on this, and I said Xbox trying to convince people in the courts that they are a small second place, far behind in the gaming space. They were saying this acquisition will level the playing field for them or help them. And I don't think I think that's a little silly, but I don't think this acquisition should be stopped. I think this is kind of more of a shakedown than anything. They just kind of want to, go through the weeds and really dive deep into Microsoft's business and see what's going on. I don't know that they're actually going to stop this acquisition. That's just my opinion. And I don't know. I wouldn't feel bad for any of these companies here. Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad for any of them. They're making a lot of money, and Microsoft trying to, downplay themselves is just a little bit silly. I don't think people are buying that. I just think the bigger thing here is the monopoly aspect of it, and I don't fully understand that, and I don't know if I agree with that either. But I think that's probably the bigger question here. If you don't want one company owning everything necessarily, it's just kind of bad for the industry, possibly as a whole. I think that's kind of maybe more the base argument here, but I think it's a little bit silly to stop Microsoft from purchasing Activision. They have the cash to purchase it. Activision wants to be purchased. I don't think it's the worst thing, but this is a big business dealing, and I think they're just trying to shake the rug out here, and just kind of see what's going on more so than actually stop this. I think they're just trying to see if they can find anything more egregious going through this court battle that they want to, pin on Microsoft. But I don't know. But it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see the end result of this. I think I would be really surprised if the purchase is not able to go through. But I think it's been interesting hearing all the stuff Microsoft's saying, really how they're trying to position themselves as weaker than they are, trying to get the the courts to feel sorry for them and allow them to make the $68 billion purchase that they're trying to make. So the small company that is really needs the help is able to drop that $68 billion on buying this company. So it's just a little bit silly. These are highfalutin activities going on, and definitely going over my head some. And it's probably more simple than anything as well, though. It's probably just, I don't know. I don't really know even how to explain my thoughts on that, but it seems complicated, and it probably is, but it probably just comes down to some money or something like that. I don't think they're doing this for the good of the industry or whatever. It just seems like a big deal. It seems a little bit silly to me, but my thoughts on it are that the purchase is going to go through. So there's some legal thoughts from the Dep Lewis Show on the Microsoft versus FTC case. Just a little bit of 2 cents and very uninformed opinion. So, but very interesting, very fun to read. And my next step will be just seeing, the result of the court case. And I think that's the next bit of information we'll get. All right. Let's get into the fun part of this midsection today, and that is ranking some video games. I love doing some rankings. It's one of my favorite things to do. And video games are one of my favorite things. So ranking video games is obviously one of my favorite things. So we are going to rank the best games of the year as a mid-year check-in for the Dep Lewis Show for 2023. So let's get into it. All right, I want to tell you the games that I've played so far this year. So this is no particular order. This is just a list of all the games that I've purchased and played some of this year. So those games are Fire Emblem Engage, Dead Space Remake, Hi-Fi Rush, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC, Hogwarts Legacy, MLB The Show 23, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, Humanity, and Sonic Origins Plus. And I've also purchased Diablo 4 and Resident Evil 4, but haven't played enough of them at this time to consider them for these rankings, is what I was saying. So that is a total of 10 games so far that I've tried this year. So, if I wanted to make a top 10, I'd be able to. But, not all these games would be worthy of my list. I'm going to have more games I play throughout the year, so, I can't just automatically put these into the top 10. So we're gonna get into these rankings in a second. So let's talk about first, the other games that have come out this year that I haven't played, that I've had some interest in. They're on my radar, but I haven't played them, so they're not in consideration for this ranking yet. So those games are Metroid Prime Remastered, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, Octopath Traveler 2, Like a Dragon Ishin, Have a Nice Death, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, Final Fantasy 16, and A Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. So that's a list of games that that have come out this year that I would purchase if I won the lottery. I would just buy all these games and try to play them, but it's just not the way the world works. And so those are the games. So I've told you the games that I've played. I've told you the games that I missed. And now I'm going to give you the official mid-year rankings for 2023 for the Dep Lewis Show. We're going to start backwards and go to the top. So I've deemed 6 games worthy of my ranking. So these 6 games right now are going to be on the list. They obviously can get bumped or moved or whatever before the end of the year when other stuff releases or when I play games more, or maybe I go back and purchase one of these games I missed. But I'm just going to let you know that I've deemed these 6 games to be worthy of my mid-year check-in list. So we're going to get into them. So number 6 is a game I just bought last week. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's a big package of games, and it is Sonic Origins Plus. Coming in at number 6. So I love a side-scroller platformer. I like some Sonic. I bought 16 games in one, so that's a very good package, a nice value. I've already played a good bit of this game. I've been diving into multiple games, and I plan on playing some more of this and trying to get through it. And that's why it's coming in at number 6 on my list. All right, number 5 is Fire Emblem Engage. This was an early contender for Game of the Year for me, but I kind of fell off around the 20-25 hour mark, I think it was. And it became a little bit hard. I don't think I did enough side quest stuff, so I think I'm in kind of a bad spot in my save. But I do love Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is one of my favorite games ever. And Fire Emblem Engage is something I want to go back to, once I've had my fill of another game that I've been playing a whole lot of on the Switch. So we'll talk about that game a little bit more in the rankings as we go. All right, so that's number 5, Fire Emblem Engage. Number 4 is some DLC, but it's some DLC worthy of a slot on this list, and that is Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. I've been playing that on multiple consoles. I love Dead Cells in general. I think the Return to Castlevania DLC has been some of the cooler parts of the game, and I really enjoyed it. And this is something, Dead Cells is a classic, timeless game, so this is something I can pick up at any moment. It's a great game to own in handheld, and that is why it is number 4 on my list for games of the year for 2023 at the mid-year check-in. All right, number 3 is the Dead Space remake. This game was, sitting at the top of the list for a little while in my mind, but it's been bumped down to number 3 right now, just, based on some other stuff that came out. But Dead Space remake, I think I'm over halfway in this game. It's something I'd like to continue playing and hopefully complete, and that is why it is number 3 on my list. Dead Space remake is really, really fun. That was another January game. Like Fire Emblem Engage. All right, number 2 has been something that this game is being placed here more for, I haven't played a lot of it, but what I've played of it, I've enjoyed a lot. So I think that is why it has landed itself in this great spot on the Dep Lewis Show list, and it is number 2, and that's Street Fighter 6. I loved every minute I played of this game. It just kind of came out after another game that I've been playing a whole lot of. So it's been taking a little bit of a back burner, but I've been kind of getting into it more in the last week or so. So Street Fighter 6 is seeming like, I think it's going to be a pretty good contender for the official, end of the year Game of the Year list. But right now it's sitting at number 2, Street Fighter 6. All right, number 1 Game of the Year for 2023 at the mid-year check-in for the Dep Lewis Show is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This game is amazing. This game is standing firmly atop this list right now. I don't know if anything has I don't know. Actually, I don't want to say that. There are some games that could knock it off the list this year. But right now, it's sitting firmly atop this list. Ever since it came out, it's been sitting atop this list. It really bumped down a few of these other games immediately. I've been playing so much of this game. I have multiple friends playing this game. It's been fun talking to them about it and hearing what they're going through. And they hit a home run with this game. The sequel lived up to the hype. I think it's even better than Breath of the Wild. And I think you should play it. And it's really been bogging down my Switch since May. And it's going to be bogging down my Switch for a while longer. And I am not mad about it at all. So the official mid-year rankings for 2023 for the Dep Lewis Show in order. Number 1 is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 2, Street Fighter 6. Number 3, Dead Space Remake. Number 4, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. Number 5, Fire Emblem Engage. And number 6, Sonic Origins Plus. So there are a lot more games that will come out in 2023, and we'll talk about these later. And the next time we do a ranking, an official ranking, will be the end of the year. So we'll be having our official top 10 games of the year for the Dep Lewis Show at the end of the year. I'll talk about these, up until then. We'll talk about some of the rankings a little bit, but you're not going to get an official list, another official list, until the end of the year. So take these 6 games and put them in your pipe, put them in your mid pipe, and smoke them. So great games. Loving 2023 so far. It's been an amazing year. And you have been an amazing listener listening to this midsection of the Dep Lewis Show. We're going to take another break. our final break, and then we're going to come back for the Miscellaneous Talk section of the Dep Lewis Show. We have some comedy talk, and we have some sports talk. Those are the two main topics of discussion for the Miscellaneous Talk section. So we're going to come back after this break, and that's what we're going to talk about. So come back in just a second. Welcome back to the final section of the Dep Lewis Show, episode 39. Thank you for rejoining the show. I want to talk about a few things here in the Miscellaneous Talk section. First, I want to talk about some comedy stuff. So there is a comedian that I like named Tom Segura. Ever heard of him? He has a new special coming out tomorrow. If you're listening in real time, it comes out July 4th, 2023. It's called Sledgehammer. It's on Netflix. Tom's been doing some promo out there in the streets. He was on Theo Vaughn's podcast called This Past Weekend. He was also on the Pat McAfee show last week, two things I like to watch. And it was funny hearing him talk to Pac-Man Jones because he has that story he told on his special where one of his friends runs into Pac-Man after a loss. He says that his dad loves him, and Pac has a funny comment back to him. So Tom Segura's new special coming out July 4th on Netflix. I just wanted to highlight that. It'll definitely be something that I'm going to watch and talk about on this show, so it's most likely you'll be hearing my review on this special next week. And my guess is it's going to be hilarious because Tom Segura is an outstanding comedian, and I'm a huge fan of him. So go check out Tom's new special tomorrow, July 4th, called Sledgehammer on Netflix. Another comedian I'm a big fan of, Mark Normand, he's announced a new special for him as well. It's coming out July 25th, 2023. I heard him mention this on a podcast, and then I actually saw the confirmation. It's going to be called Comedy. He always says comedy. Crack a joke on why'd the chicken cross the road? Because he was scared to get to the other side. Comedy. And this is releasing on Netflix. I think it's a perfect title for his special. And Netflix is going to have a great month with these two guys dropping their specials on it. So I'm very, very epic. Mark Normand, I watched him on the Legion of Skanks last week. He was on Real Ass Podcast with Louis Gomez as well. And then you can check out Mark Normand on We Might Be Drunk. They actually had Bobby Lee on We Might Be Drunk this last night. That episode came out. I've watched most of that, and it's very funny. That's Mark Normand and Sam Morril. And then Tuesdays with Stories is Mark Normand's other podcast with Joe List that comes out on Tuesdays. I love that podcast too. So big supporter of these dudes. And go check out Mark Normand's new special, Comedy. Mark Normand's new comedy special titled Comedy on Netflix, July 25th. All right, last bit of podcast comedy news. I wanted to say that Kill Tony, my favorite live show podcast every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, is going to have the first podcast in an arena. And that is an arena, I guess, in Austin, Texas. That's going to be for New Year's Eve, so 12/31/2023. And it seems pretty cool. They just put out a promo last week, announcing that this was happening. I don't know if it's going to be a live podcast or a live taping of Kill Tony, or if it's just going to be some other type of show with comedy involved. I'm not all the way sure, but my take on it a little bit, my guess is it's going to be a live Kill Tony from an arena, so I think that's going to be insane. I think if you're able to, travel to Austin, or if you live in Austin, I think you should get tickets for this. And if not, you should definitely tune in to however they're going to showcase this event. So I'm really excited for that. Kill Tony is, I think that's the highlight of my YouTube week, is watching Kill Tony every Monday night. Last Monday they had Theo Vaughn on. I haven't checked out who they have for tonight since it's Monday. We're recording the show. But Kill Tony is something else I'd like to highly recommend. All right, let's get into the worldwide world of sports, one of my favorite worlds to jump into. On the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Carolina Panthers, there's no news to report there really. I just want them to extend Brian Burns. I just want to say that every week until it happens. Pay the man his money. Make him a Panther for at least 5 more years would be nice. And, drop the millions off on his doorstep. So Brian Burns, I hope you get paid, Mr. Number 0. And that's all I want to say about the Carolina Panthers. All right, another team that is a team of the Dep Lewis Show from the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets. The news to report there is LaMelo Ball finalized a 5-year designated maximum contract extension that is worth up to $260 million. Only Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton and Desmond Bane have received a max extension from the 2022 draft class so far, and now LaMelo Ball is the third. So LaMelo Ball is getting some financial security times $1 million, and he's going to be the main piece in Charlotte for the foreseeable future. So They drafted Brandon Miller. It's going to be fun to watch. Now they have paid LaMelo the bag, and now they need to have LaMelo be healthy and build the rest of the roster out. So the Hornets are seemingly on a good trajectory here. So I'm happy to report that. All right, the official team in the official sport of the Dep Lewis Show, Major League Baseball, and the official team, the best team in the universe, is the Atlanta Braves. So since last week, since we talked, they played last Sunday against the Reds. The Braves won this game 7-6. It was a close game right down to the end. As Charlie Morton was on the mound, and I always love watching him pitch. The Reds came back kind of late, being troublemakers, but the Braves won. The Reds are for real. I think they're a really tough opponent. I think it's likely we could see them in the playoffs. I am not scared, but I definitely respect their skills. But the Braves are doing really, really well right now. They played the Twins this week. They won all 3 games this week at home versus the Twins. And then, let's see, they won all 3 games this week against the Marlins. They won the first 2 games versus the Fish at home in Atlanta this weekend. So there was no losses so far this week. They had won 7 in a row before Sunday's game. So now they're on an 8-game win streak. That was 15 of the last 16 at that point. So now there's 16 of the last 17 at this point. The Braves are on fire, on fuego, just winning everything set in front of them. The Braves won yesterday against the Marlins. That was the 3rd one. Strider versus Alcantara. I didn't really get to watch too much of that game because I was doing some traveling. But it was nice to see the Braves won. So this upcoming week, since it's Monday, the Braves have 3 games at Cleveland against the Guardians, and then 3 games against Tampa Bay, the Devil Rays, or the Rays. The Braves are off Thursday, so 6 games this week. I think Cleveland's doing okay, and then Tampa Bay is, Braves are 1-2 overall in the league with Tampa Bay, so I'm really looking forward to those games this weekend. And I think it should be a tough week for the Braves, but I think the Braves are prepared for anything at this point. Talking about the All-Star game, I think there's something now like 8 Braves All-Stars going to the All-Star weekend. The first when they announced the starters, the 3 Braves were Ronald Acuna, Sean Murphy, and Orlando Arcia. But now they've added a whole bunch of other players from our team and some of our starting pitchers as well. So shout out to the Braves. I think it's the most All-Stars the Braves have ever sent in history, I think is what it said, to the All-Star game. So just going really well. One of my friends was joking with me that the Braves are, they're being too hot. Like, they can't have this much success and sustain it, but I haven't really viewed it that way myself. My friend is really just a big troll, but, there's some merit to, you don't want to peak too early, but I don't think the Braves are peaking. I think they've only recently got into a really good groove, and, we're almost midway. I think this streak has been one of the best streaks of the season, and I think it's more reality than fool's gold. I think this is really how good they are. Some things are going to be dependent on injuries and things like that. But, the Braves even have some players set to come back from injury. So I think the Braves are set up in a perfect spot to go for the World Series. It never can play out. It never plays out exactly like you think it will. Obviously, things can happen. It's tough to win the World Series. But I think the best thing I can say is that the Braves should be in contention for the World Series. That would be my expectation. You can't just always think your team's going to win every game all the time, but I really do think the Braves have a legitimate shot in the proper squad to make a run and have a legitimate fight at it. So I think that is the best position you can hope to be in as a fan. And shout out to the Braves. You're the best. I love you. Shout out to Ronald Acuna Jr., the best player on the planet in any sport, and my favorite player in the world. And just shout out. So I want to highlight. The last thing I want to do in this baseball section is highlight a player from another team. Mr. Eli Antonio de la Cruz. He's been kind of put on the jerk list of guys I don't like, but there are really guys I do like that just kind of torch the Braves. So I don't know what to call this list of players yet. I'm still working on that. But these are players that I respect, but I am not happy when they are going off against the Braves. So I put them on this list of, troublemakers or whatever. But it's really more of a respect thing. So De La Cruz, I wanted to look up some information on him since I didn't really know too much about him before that Red series. This man was born January 11, 2003. He's currently 21 years old. He's from the Dominican Republic. On July 2nd, 2018, he signed with the Reds as an international free agent. His MLB debut was just this earlier last month, June 6, 2023. So that's pretty insane. He was playing in that Braves series a couple weeks later and hitting for the cycle and being an absolute menace all over the field. They hit for the cycle against the Braves on 6/23/2023 on Sonic's birthday, no less. Come on, man. He bats switch and throws right. He's a shortstop / third baseman. He was playing third against the Braves, and he wears number 44, so shout out to Hank Aaron. So, Ellie Antonio de la Cruz, I'm excited to watch your career. You seem like a major baller, and just don't do it against the Braves. That's all I got to say to you over there, Mr. de la Cruz. So, that is going to wrap up the Miscellaneous Talk section this week. We talked about some comedy. We talked about Tom Segura's new special Sledgehammer coming out July 4th, 2023. We talked about Mark Normand's new comedy special on Netflix called Comedy, releasing July 25th, 2023. We talked about Kill Tony has a New Year's Eve show, the first podcast in an arena on 12/31/2023. We talked about the Panthers, extend Brian Burns. We talked about Charlotte Hornets, giving LaMelo Ball the bag. We talked about the Atlanta Braves and the crazy win streak they're on right now. And I hope that win streak will continue this week against Cleveland and against Tampa Bay. And I will definitely be reporting back to you next week on the results of the game today and all the other games. And just thank you so much for listening to this show every week. I'm happy that you listened to me on a Monday. I'm happy that you gave me, yesterday to travel and do some things in my life. And then be able to come here and present this show on a Monday morning on my day off. So I have today off and I have tomorrow off. So I'll have a 3-day work week. And then back to the weekend, which is where everyone's working for the weekend. And so the weekend is when I do my Dep Lewis showing. So I just want to say thank you for listening to this show and supporting. We talked about a lot of great things today. And the last thing I want to remind you to do is support the show even further by following Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a dog, tell a cat, tell a bird, tell a squirrel. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips of the show are on YouTube and TikTok, and those clips will be back this week, so please go check them out. And please tune in to Twitch every week for the Dep Lewis Show. I'm showing off some games. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be playing some games, and you can come through and watch, and I'll have the mic on, and we can talk. And you'll get a little sample of what I'm going to be talking about on the Dep Lewis Show later in the week. And just thank you so much for supporting this show in any fashion you do. I have so much fun doing it. I love doing it every week. I felt a little bit weird missing out on releasing it on Sunday, but I had the episode ready to go. I just had to record it, so I just appreciate the flexibility. I appreciate the fun from this, and just thank you for allowing me to collect my video game thoughts and bring them to you and tell you what I think is cool. And I hope that you'll find this information useful. You'll think some of this stuff is cool too, or introduce you to some new things. And I just really appreciate you listening to the show. It's one of the more fun things I do in my life. This has been 39 weeks in a row, and I plan on doing this. I plan on never stopping. So you're going to keep getting this video game news, whether you like it or not. So please keep tuning in every week, and I'll be back next week for episode 40. Have a wonderful week out there. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy some days off. Work on your tan. Maybe relax. Play some video games. See some family and friends. Pet your dog. Have some fun. And come back next week for episode 40, because that's where I'll be. Thank you, loyal listener, and I will see you next week.